We're still on progressing and retraining ourselves for success, whether that's in our health, whether that's in our mind, whether that's in our relationships. We are focused on breaking free from the patterns and the conditionings that we have adopted over life, whether we have trained ourselves or have been trained by others or have been trained by pain or have been trained by joy. We want to keep the training from joy, but other ones, the negative ones, how can we break free? The third one that I've seen in people that I've interacted with is consistency, the struggle with consistency. You know what step one for you is. You know that I need to get 7 hours of sleep, drink water first thing when you wake up. You know that you're going to have a little bit of movement. These are things that you now know. So, congratulations. Now, an issue can come where we are not being consistent. You've tried it for 1 week. You made the New Year's resolution, you are set, you have attempted it, you got the gym membership, but the struggle comes with consistency. How can I maintain these habits that I've started? Sometimes we forget. We forget that we have started doing something new. Sometimes we lose the motivation. Sometimes our former training kicks in. The training of our bad habits comes back and we find ourselves back in our old ways. The thing about consistency is how quickly you recover. Like, yes, you were supposed to exercise today and you did not. Can you do it tomorrow? Can you remember to do it tomorrow? The next thing you know, 3 weeks have gone by and you completely forgot that you're on this new health journey. With consistency, it's really important to learn how to bounce back. And it's best if you can bounce back quickly. So yes, you may have disappointed yourself. You may have felt like you're breaking promises to yourself. You feel like you can't trust yourself enough, but you can. You can trust yourself again to make the right decision. Don't let the disappointment of not following through change the way you see yourself, because that brings us back to the lack of self-love. If you attempt to make 2026 your healthiest year yet, and you started well in January, and you started well in February, you were doing well, but for some reason in March you fell off, don't allow that to lose trust in yourself, to make you think that, okay, now I can never do it because look, I've stopped. Because when those thoughts creep in, that's when your self-trust starts to break. It leads to a lower sense of self-love because there's a lower sense of self-appreciation and a lower sense of self-acceptance. Like, I failed and I cannot accept this. But in reality, you failed, and that's a very acceptable human thing to do. I mean, we're all doing it. But your ability to recover helps. We're not all failing all the time, people. We are failing sometimes, and we will fail again. Okay? We will fail again. If you are able to admit to yourself that at some point in the future you're going to make a mistake, it might not make it easier to feel that disappointment in yourself. You will feel like, I personally hate making mistakes. Oh, I dislike it so much. It leads to a mini grieving, but I'm really trying to move on quickly from that, to be like, to really feel the pain of it, like, oh snap, I really dislike this. But to say, c'est la vie, I move on, I will be okay, everyone will be okay. The best I can do is own up to the mistake and move on quickly, get it behind me, because the past is the past and the present is the reality. Another thing with consistency is if you aim to be 100% consistent, I believe that's the best shot for you. Tell yourself that you're going to do this 100% of the time, because if you tell yourself you do 100% of the time, you may end up doing that 80% of the time. And 80% of the time it's very effective. I don't mean put too much pressure on yourself and say, I am always going to, what's a healthy habit? Drinking water. I am always going to reach 2.5 liters of water a day, which was my goal for the past 2 weeks. If you tell yourself that you're going to do it 100% of the time and you don't, you do it 80% of the time, that's not a failure at all. You've set 100% out for yourself, because we need to be audacious about our goals. If you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to drink 2.5 liters of water only 80% of the time, then you may leave more room to not reach that goal. A more balanced way, if you're somewhere in the middle and you don't want to overshoot your goal, is commit to a reduced version of what you plan to do. So for example, if you want to go to the gym and hit 1 hour of a gym session every day, and you're a person who doesn't exercise at all, that might be overshooting yourself a little bit, like overestimating yourself. But if you are realistic with yourself, like, okay, I don't really feel like I have time in my schedule to be at the gym every single day for 1 hour, perhaps your version of 100% is exercising 4 days a week for 30 minutes. That is your 100% to aim for. And if you skip one, it's not a crime. You've still done 80% of what you've set yourself out to do, but you've made it easier for yourself. I really hope that makes sense. Barrier number 3 was just a lack of consistency, which you can do something about, because that's where our training begins. The consistency starts to rewire our brain. Consistency is all about repetition. You've made something very repeatable for yourself, and the brain is glad about it because the brain loves predictability and pattern, and that's how you retrain yourself. So from being someone who used to think a certain way, that was your previous training, but through the help of consistency, you have successfully retrained your brain to think more positively, more gratefully, more well balanced. You're not going from 0 to 100, you train yourself.